This video is part of the online course Europe and Young People: How Citizenship Works in the European Context. Or is Europe our collective memory? Many people think that what defines Europe best is its eventful history and rich cultural heritage. Aren't millions of tourists worldwide coming to see the old continent, or the old world, as Europe is often referred to? The travellers often want to discover history, not only how it's been put on display in various museums, but also how it can be experienced in the streets and quarters of Paris, Rome, Berlin, or numerous other places in Europe. But what are they looking for? What do they expect to see and experience? It can be argued, of course, that Europe, as we understand it today, has gone through and been profoundly influenced by Greek and the Roman civilizations, Christianity, the Renaissance, the Age of Discovery, the Enlightenment, the French Revolution, the Industrial Revolution, the rise of nation-states or liberalism, to name just a few points of historical reference, and the philosophy, political thought, modes of governance, economic systems, arts and scientific and technological advancement associated with them. Most of us remember having learnt some of this at school, under the umbrella of European history. But it's important to remember, and for sure our school books also mention this, that many of the aforementioned phases or developments weren't exclusively European, and neither did they encompass or influence equally the whole of today's Europe. Take the Roman Empire, for example. It covered large areas in Northern Africa and the Middle East, and had an impact on the history and culture of these areas. Too often, however, we focus only on how the Roman Empire influenced Europe, thinking that Romans are exclusively the ancestors of the modern Europeans. Following that line of thought, we hijack large parts of world history and claim some kind of ownership over them. That's not fair, is it? Also, a number of developments associated with Europe took effect in a mutual exchange with civilizations and societies outside of Europe. The colonial period, which started in the beginning of the New Age, and European imperialism, which peaked in the 19th century, reinforced the polarization between Europe and the rest of the world, portraying Europe as the source of progress and the rest of the world as the source of backwardness. This viewpoint was to justify the oppression and exploitation of the time, but traces of it can still be found in international relations and sometimes also in European self-understanding. There's nothing wrong with looking back and acknowledging the intellectual, technological or artistic achievements of the past, but it's good to keep in mind that Europe's role in them might not have been as big and as heroic as it is sometimes made out to be. Riding on an imaginary supremacy of the past, or the present for that matter, does not take us far in understanding contemporary Europe. It's evident that the question what Europe is very much political. This video is part of the online course Europe and Young People: How Citizenship Works in the European Context. The course has been funded with support of the Erasmus Programme in the field of youth.